All right, cool. All right, so I have got Brother Eric back on the podcast. I think it was like, when did you come out to Sacramento? It was June last year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
But
was it? Yeah,
I
June,
think it was June, right?
middle of June, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
almost a year and a half ago or thereabouts. So yeah, it's been a while. So
yeah,
just excited to connect
yeah,
with you and to see what you've been
yeah.
up to and to share some knowledge and some wisdom with the people out there and just to connect, man. So thanks for giving me your time. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, brother Chris, I have to say this before we get started: is that your podcast have been like uh, my has been very informational, and I do my lemon enemas
You're
to
saying
your
that.
podcast. Yeah, I do my lemon enemas to your podcast, so I create the environment, with the scents, and I I lay there and I do my lemon, and I listen to all the podcasts, because you turned me on to so many people that I didn't even know exist, and subjects that I didn't even know exist.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm pretty heavy in the detox area, so that's kind of like what my passion is. So yeah, I enjoy talking to people who are all about the healing process, and that goes along with
Yeah.
the mucusless diet as well, obviously. But of course, but yeah, I just love connecting with other people and getting as much information as I can. So that's cool.
Well, it's been very enjoyable, man. Like, that's my enema time, where I listen to a podcast, man. So
Aw.
I don't went through like hundreds of your podcasts, man. Like, just let you know. So it's because I'm laying there, and I just choose to. That's
Yeah,
always been my thing, man. Is to use up that kind of time to study if I
right, right.
can.
Yeah.
And
Multitask, yeah.
yeah. So if I'm just laying there, it's and that stuff. I mean, like Morris. That was the first time I ever heard of an interview with Dr. Morse.
Oh, Dr.
I hadn't.
Morse. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't hip to him. Spira knows about his work and everything, and I'd heard his name. I heard
Right,
people,
right.
because people hit us up, and they go and check him out, or and always ask us questions about certain things that he might be developing. But listening to your podcast, that was the first time I heard him, speak, and his philosophies, and just the whole piece, man. So I was like, oh, okay, now I know who Mars is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he was strongly influenced by Arnold Eric's work as well, too. So there's a definite connection there between
Oh
those two.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I hope he says that. In that interview, I don't think he mentioned Arnold Eric, but I'm quite sure somewhere that he's, because I mean, I could just hear Eric all through and through him,
right, right.
and that's what was making me very interested in hearing him. And I still have a problem with his certification.
Right, right.
You know, I just have problems with people doing that. Like, you can come for a week and you're certified to do something. Oh man,
Oh, his school. Yeah, yeah. It's actually going on right
yeah.
now. Yeah,
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. I'm not a fan of people who do that, because it's really, that's you talking about going for the head fake. Um, because you can't learn the stuff that we know in a week, and be qualified to teach others. I
right.
just can't, I just, and so that's about the only. And I don't really know a lot about his work, but I do know I deal with people who will confront me, like when they meet me, they'll be like, yeah, I'm certified by Morse. I'm one of his, whatever he calls it, the certification of
The detox
detoxing.
specialist, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I just look at him like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Yeah. Well, the
So
problem with that is because he wrote a book, right? The Detox Miracle Source book, and that came out I think like 14 years ago. So it's a little outdated. So it needs like what people are doing experience-wise on their own is happening faster than what books are coming out with. You know what I mean? So
right, right.
science is a little
Yeah.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but I was just digging, listening to him talk about his life, because I had never heard I never heard him talk, and I'd heard so much about him. So
Right.
so I credit you, man, and so many other people, man. It's just it's a lot of people out here detoxing and calling themselves experts. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of people are
It,
getting on the unfooding trip right now.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So, all we do, man, is talk about our experience in transition. Um, mucusfreelife.com sells books, but the books are just kind of the books have already been published.
yeah.
I mean, they're Arnold Eric's books, and so we just try to keep the information and be serious practitioners about um about staying consistent. That's the
Right.
key,
Right.
is
Yeah.
is doing something for 20 years, doing something for 30 years, doing something for 40 years, instead of what I see now. And I've really kind of went on social media and said a few things about these self-appointed gurus in terms of the health piece. And I mean, I didn't say anything, and I didn't feel like I had anything to say until 30 years in.
Right.
I mean, you after 30 years, I feel like I got something to say.
Something to offer. Yeah.
Yeah, not after 5 years, not after 3 years, not after 7 years, I mean, you really have to get in the trenches,
Right. Yeah.
and deal with our environment and our life, as life would say, such as life, as life goes on, you need a little bit of that, man. You need, because you can be into something for 2 or 3 years, but not have a family. You could be into something for 7, 8 years, but not have children. You know what I mean? But once you get into the life part of it, and you know what I'm talking about, brother Chris,
Yeah.
the the,
Yeah.
the, the, the family, you get into the family, and then you talk about paying your bills, being in the environment, uh,
Yeah.
and, and then now we'll see just how much you really know about staying consistent and keeping this as a first priority.
Right.
I've had the family, I've raised children. I've always kept this as the most important thing in my life. It's not my family and it's not my children. The most important thing in my life is my living.
Right.
And 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 the reason why, I mean, I don't want to sound harsh or very arrogant to people, but if I take care of myself, I'm around to be with my family.
Because you could be a service. Take care of yourself, and you could be a
Yeah,
service to others. Yeah.
yeah, be a service to others and my family, right? So that's just, the key to it is you know, really concentrate on yourself. And I'm not talking about to the point where you just like narcissistic about it, you know.
Right, right, yeah,
You know, but I've always done my mucusless diet healing system rituals. I never, you know, we were talking about this the other day, about like I've been doing lemon enemas every day since 1990. And we were talking about like how many days have I missed? You know, and
yeah,
I probably, it's probably been maybe about a total of 2 weeks if you know, if you add up the days, you know.
yeah.
And you know, it's probably been about maybe 2 weeks, you know, maybe 14 days, you know, maybe, I know no more than 20 days. But it was just funny, me and Spirit, because we were talking about when we traveled together sometimes. And
Yeah.
Spirit has he's the king of all kings when it comes to doing enemas, because you mentioned Starbucks. He did one in a Starbucks.
Right, yeah.
That was one day that I missed mine, you know,
You're
because
like, no, no, no. Yeah.
I'm not doing it in Starbucks, but he did one in Starbucks. So I always bow to greater honor with him, you
Right,
know,
right.
with him being consistent. So so yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah,
it's
man.
like what you were saying before, though. I mean, the life experience. I mean, we're all coming at this from different angles, right? You know, like I have a wife and two little kids, so my experience with, you know, the diet, the lifestyle is going to be different than somebody who's, you know, 20 years old, living in the jungle, you know,
Right,
being supported by mom and dad. You know, they can do whatever they want. So we're all going to be a little bit different with our experiences and how we approach it. So that's super.
right. I mean, it's, but what we try to do is we try to keep people motivated,
Right.
and you know, just keep them motivated to do the work, because we can't do the work for you.
The
And
consistency, right?
yeah, we're not selling a full body detox. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we're not selling that stuff, you know. And so we just want people to know that the one thing about the practice of the mucusless diet healing system is about being consistent. If you want to, if you really want to see some magnificent things
yeah,
occur in your life, you know.
yeah. Well, you're
Because
saying,
I go ahead.
I was gonna say, because yesterday we were talking, and you said that you were talking to clients or somebody, and they always immediately go to the fasting, right? They want to jump right into the
Yeah,
dry fasting and
yeah,
skip the whole transition, the whole process,
yeah,
kind of like the life hack.
yeah.
They just want the quick fix, which I get, understand, but yeah, the transition process is where you're gonna get rid of the food cravings and clean out the blood and all that stuff. So you can't really skip that section. You just can't do it.
Well, I think with me more so than Spira and probably Sister Takora, I think I'm confronted with that more. Like people really hit me up about the fasting,
Well, that's
you
what you're
know.
kind of famous for, I guess, is yeah, doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's what I do. That's my thing. Um, but I'm always telling folks and trying to to move away from, you know, like let's don't focus on fasting. People wanna, you know, wanna really move this thing fast. You know,
Right.
you know, this is the tortoise and the hare type of race, you know, and I'm the tortoise,
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna win, you know, I'm gonna eventually finish.
Right.
But you know, and so I'm not in no hurry.
Right.
I'll be what, 59 in December. Yeah, I'll be 59. So I'm not in no hurry, man. This is like the embryo stage of, you know, the born again. You
Yeah.
know, this is, I feel like, you know, I've been born again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get a chance to get it right, you know. I get a
Yeah.
chance to get it right. So I feel like I got time.
Right. Well, it's not just about the diet part either. It's about, you know, like you always say, the death culture. We have to get out of this death culture and reform our thinking about everything that's going on around us. So it's not just about the food. That's a good starting point. But ultimately,
Yeah.
we want to reshape the world, the society that we live in. So yeah, there's a lot to it. It's so vast.
Yeah, I mean, everything, the physiology part, um, is a big part of it, you know, in terms of controlling what you put in your mouth.
All right.
But we're in this life, we're in this society. You know, we're dealing with, because when you're trying to turn things around, and that's basically what we're trying to do, is turn things around. So now you got to deal with folks who don't want to turn things around. You can't uh you can't not miss them. I mean, they're 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 coming after you. You know what I mean? It's almost like they 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 really are. It's almost like when you're trying to get it together. I think the universe really wants the real warriors, you know, and you know that it'll test you to
Right.
see if you really are into this. You know, like, can you take this? This is this is the hardest thing you're gonna do. Is basically you basically saying, look, I'm scrapping everything. Like,
Right.
there's nothing in your society worth elevating, and I'm turning and going this way. Um, but you know, I mean, my my angle is I'll try to reduce things to its lowest denominator.
Right.
I mean, that's the best I can do right now. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, with you know, I try to deal with what I have to deal with, and be honest when you see. I mean, we you know, this is like reversing all the things that you aspire and that your culture, which is your family, has taught you about.
Yeah. The
You
programming.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, just total. I mean, you total deprogramming yourself, and you're making people kind of making people closest to you kind of upset
Yeah. Yeah.
in some cases, because you know, like let's say, you know, you're not being invited to the reindeer games anymore. You know,
Yeah. Exactly.
you know, and so people get upset, and it's not that you're trying to upset them, you're just not participating. And then everybody has their level of participation, even if they're hardcore practitioner. They find a way to kind of, like I tell people about family, I don't say nothing to nobody about their family, because you got to figure that one out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you got you got to deal with your family, your mama, your daddy. You know, that's on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not giving you any suggestions on
Yeah.
what to do. You
Yeah.
know, I know how I did it with my family. Uh, you know, like some Thanksgivings and some Christmases and things. A lot of people would come from out of town, and I would go over and see the folks who came from out of town. Wouldn't eat anything, you know. Sometimes I'd bring me something to drink or something, but I would be sociable, and and I would deal with it on that level, man. And then it got to the point where, as you get older, you just don't even want to be around. It's like this constipated frequency
Right, right.
that you don't even want to be around it anymore because you know it's there. Especially when you're sitting around cats that's sitting and eating a big Thanksgiving dinner with all the fixings, and they're sitting around, and you know what's getting ready to come out of their mouths is just going to be 100% ridiculous.
Right, right.
To any kind of rational thought. So now I don't deal with, I don't deal with any family now.
Yeah,
I mean, serious, man. I mean,
yeah.
and they don't want to deal with me. I mean, they don't call me anymore. I mean, I know my cousins and them make a joke when they see me. They be like, man, I remember they had gave me she tells a story about they had gave me the task of bringing the cake. And they were saying it was gonna be this vegetarian cake with no taste and no, and it was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
why you so willing to bring the cake? And so yeah, they don't call me anymore, man.
yeah.
They don't. Hey, my family now is kind of like Spira, Takora. That's it's kind of like family.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Keep it tight. Yeah,
my son. My son. Yeah, but yeah, that's just something you got to figure out for yourself. How you gonna deal with kind of rebirthing yourself, man.
yeah, yeah. I'm going through the transition. Oh, I mean, it's always going to be a transition, but I don't know. I've been in a funk lately, and I'm trying to reevaluate, re-questioning what my end game is. Like I get so focused on trying to get to something, to attain something, I'm kind of skipping the
Yeah,
whole process, being present. I'm just not present. I'm always so focused about the outcome or where I'm going to be. So yeah, I kind of got to reevaluate sometimes and step back. And if I get too stressed out in the process, then I'm doing something wrong, right? So I got to reevaluate. But
yeah,
it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to do this, like you said. I mean, we're fighting all this
it's
indoctrination and
very
programming, and it's not easy.
yeah.
It's hard.
No, 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 no. It's not easy, and that's why I truly believe that when people talk about the chosen ones, I
Yeah,
really believe we are the chosen ones. Because why would we go through this kind of frustrating type of existence? It can be frustrating, and a frustrating existence because you got to deal with so many. Believe me, they're still winning.
right. Yeah, yeah. Well, we know what the
You know,
payoff's going to be. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what we do know what the payoff is going to be, and 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 believe it or not, we have our great days. You know,
yeah,
we have those days, man, that are just like space travel type of. Like when I can get into some long fasting and really get into some space traveling and and and
yeah,
I've had some good memorable days that motivate me to keep on.
yeah,
But then there's sometimes you just got to deal with the celebration of ignorance. That's what we seem to be around, is this celebration of ignorance
yeah, yeah. Well,
constantly, 24 hours 7 days a week. It's the celebration of ignorance that goes on that we're not a part of.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny because you say that because part of my struggle is on the home front with me and my wife, right? So I've mentioned this before to my audience. It's been a struggle there. and sometimes she'll say to me, she's like, you seemed like you were a much happier person before you made this lifestyle switch. You know, you weren't so militant, restrictive, you know, you weren't afraid of doing this and doing that. So you seemed like you were a much happier person. And I think she's kind of right to a degree. So I'm trying to balance that out now. Like, how do I get back to being happy, but yet stay the course, stay the path? You got to balance all that stuff out. It's hard, yeah.
But does she bear witness that you are much healthier?
Oh yeah. She gets that component, yeah.
Okay, well then that
Yeah.
trumps everything.
Yeah. Well, she still kind of wants to party and have fun and stuff, and so she's holding on. She's fighting the good fight. She's trying to hold on. I'm trying to lead her in the other direction, but
we like to party. We like to have fun. It's just a different way of partying, a different way of having fun.
Yeah, you gotta change it, yeah.
Yeah, I love to party, but I'm not gonna party like getting drunk and doing all that kind of stuff. But just you gotta readjust it.
Right.
When you take her, be like, okay, this is how I party. We go to the tropics and sit under a pineapple tree. And that's
Yeah. Well,
that's how it goes.
Well, I'm not trying to badmouth her. I mean, she's super supportive, but I just said that dynamic in relationships, that could be a little bit of tension. One person's trying to spiritually go this way, and one's spiritually going that way. So it can be tough.
We get that a lot because people contact us, and it's normally the woman who is practicing the mucusless diet. Not that men don't, because there's a lot of men that practice, but women. I tell you, women have a harder time bringing the mucusless diet into a relationship than a man does. And this is interesting to talk to you about your living, but just that kind of lifestyle. But now I'm talking about the mucusless diet healing system. For say, just women have a harder time bringing that kind of living into a relationship than men have bringing it into a relationship. And the reason why is because women give us the mantelpiece to lead. So when women try to get this radical in terms of, hey, look, we stop eating meat, we're not gonna do dairy, I'm gonna do my enemas, I'm gonna fast food. When a woman comes like that to a so-called, a cat who has like the the man cave type of a thing going, that's hard. That's a hard proposition, man. And I hear women, man, it gets to a point with sex that, like he's still eating meat, she's not. She doesn't want to have sex with nobody that's gonna fill her up with parasites.
Yeah.
This is the kind of things that we hear constantly.
Yeah.
So
it's funny, I went and got a colonic once, and I was talking to the lady who was doing it, and she pointed out that people get colonics, men and women, for different reasons. Most women come in to get a colonic to lose weight. Men typically come in for health reasons. There's two different reasons that they come in and get it. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds vanity,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And men are fearful.
Yeah.
So it's vanity and fear, like, man, what's going on? Because men who come and do a colonic, and that's not all men, but when you say that, that makes me think that men are like something's wrong. I done something wrong. I'm gonna go get a colonic.
Yeah. I messed up somewhere. Yeah.
I messed up somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a colonic. So yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, it's hard to draw the line in the sand.
Yeah. Well, how
You
do
know,
you
a lot of people.
because I like talking to you because you kind of push the boundaries with things, and you're an experimenter, a researcher. So you push the boundaries, and I think the last time we talked, I don't know why I keep thinking the number 44, but you did 44 days, no food or water. Am I getting that correct?
Yeah, that was, well, I guess we were talking about dry fasting,
Well,
right?
right, like a dry fast, yeah.
Yeah, I did 43 days
Was it
of dry
43?
fast. So
So
yeah,
so no food, no
yeah,
water. See,
no
so that
food, no water. Yeah,
see for
that was
medical,
the longest I've ever done. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's just a testament to you and your where you're at, because like I just interviewed Dan McDonald, and he a few months ago did his 40-day water fast, and he said
Oh, okay.
that took him 17 years to get, the mental fortitude or what have you to accomplish that, which is awesome. I mean, that's amazing. But you did it without
Yes.
water as well, so I find that
Mm-hmm.
super fascinating. And also, too, you pointed out the fact that if Brother Eric can do that, and not to say that you're average or a simple person, but if Brother Eric from Ohio can do 43 days, then there's somebody else out there who doubled that. Somebody
Yeah,
else
who's
out
doing
there,
who? I mean, I think we were talking about breatharianism,
right? Someone, yeah,
and yeah, and I don't claim to be a breatharian by no means. I never do that, and but other folks do. Other folks have always asked me about being a breatharian, and I'm not a breatharian. I practice the Mucusless Diet Healing System. That's what I do. But what that kind of live shows me when I can go long periods, 10 and a half months without eating, just drinking fruit juice, no water. Uh, what that lets me know is that somebody's out there doing it.
right. That's what.
I'm not that I'm not that brilliant to think this shit up myself. You
Right.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna take all that kind of credit that I'm just this, no, somebody's doing this.
Right.
So what happens with us is that we start understanding our loss of memory, because physiology doesn't forget your memory, because you got the same nose and ears like your great 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 grandfather,
Yeah.
right? So physiology doesn't forget,
Right. Right.
but we do in these physical bodies going through the pus and mucus world. We forget our memory about who we are, what we are, why we are.
Where we came from. Yeah.
Yeah, so we forget that. So what the practice of the mucusless diet for me is retracing my steps. You did it.
Yeah.
It's retracing my steps, my memory, my physiological memory of who I am.
And so, does the process of restricting food, does that help with that process? Does that help spiritually get you to remember? Is that what's taking place, or like why do you? I understand that food's an obstruction, and what it does to the body, but is that helping you reach a mental space or get to where you were trying to go?
Well, for me, it just, I mean, think about it. I mean, on this level, just think on this level. When you get ready to eat, man, you got to prepare the food, you got to cook the food, or however you do it. It just takes time.
The mental energy,
If you
yeah.
don't have to, yeah, if you don't have to think about that stuff, it just makes your day just better. It just, it just makes your life better. When I'm not eating my life is better. As soon as I start to eat, that's when all the I become, you know, I become vulnerable to deal with all the rest of the deaf culture.
Yeah, it sucks you right back into the physical world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I'm eating again. I'm you know, rhythmically, I'm moving at the same pace. You know,
Yeah, lowers your vibration. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and so yeah, man. When I'm not eating, man, it just makes everything easier and simpler. Um, I'm just I'm Popeye, man. You know, it's like, you know, so without the spinach, man, I got man, I can just do incredible things, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Do incredible things, you know. So but that's not what I try to promote is, you know, is see if you can go this long with not eating. No, my thing is practicing the mucusless diet healing system. I just think that the mucusless diet healing system is the best live it on the internet because it's the only live it that deals with how to transition properly.
Right, right.
Nobody else deals with transition.
Right.
They might say it now. In the last 10 years, people might say, well, you know, you transition, but they got that from what we're talking about with the mucusless diet.
Yeah.
Nobody talk because all these diets was about the diet. This is what you eat.
Yeah. Well, it's funny bringing it
And
back around to you talk about Dr. Morse in the beginning. He teaches detoxification. He's not teaching a lifestyle. So he's like, you do my protocol, you get yourself well. What you do after that's your business. I'm just
right,
teaching
I
you. I'm
mean,
just
and I think he has information, um, but I just think that the mucusless diet healing system is complete in terms of every individual is different
all right.
physiologically. So your transition is going to be different. Your fall is going to be different. You know,
Right.
we were talking about the fall fund yesterday. I was talking to a practitioner. We were talking about the fall fund. You know, me and Spirit came up with a fund that you start for yourself called the fall fund. Like when you fall, you got some cash
All
to
right.
hold you up where you don't have to go back to work or whatever. You know,
All right, right,
you
right.
can just lay in bed, you know, for however long your fall fund lasts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha. It's like the old
You
nest
know,
egg. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we call it a fall fund because you're gonna get practicing the mucusless diet, you're gonna get weaker before you get stronger
Right.
because you're regenerating yourself.
Right. Well, how important is this? Now, that's a good point you brought that up because I think it's important to squeeze the sponge, cleanse, detox, and then rebuild and go back and squeeze the sponge again. You don't want to stay too long, detoxing or cleansing super heavy because the body's going to get weakened, right? So do you
I
agree
mean,
with that?
I don't understand what detox is really. I mean, my thing is practice the mucusless diet. I mean, this detox, like, there's no such, all that stuff is gimmick. Like, take this and this is gonna detox you. You're not gonna take some powder or something
Well, no, yeah,
and
yeah,
be clean and be clean. You're just not. You're just
yeah,
not gonna, but that's what it claims, like it's gonna clean you out in 10 days. And that's all bullshit. It's
yeah,
about getting your money. To be clean is about reconstructing your bloodstream over years and years and years and years of work.
yeah. Well, are you
We
still getting?
talking,
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, because you're still doing the lemon enemas. Are you still getting stuff out today? You still getting?
Yeah, man. I I went on the forum a couple of days ago and talked about starting a fast today, and people were hitting me up,
Oh, right.
and I actually started a fast today because I just needed to start a fast, man. For some reason I was having a hard time getting started, just so I asked for some help. I was like, if somebody, at least it'll help me get
Yeah, yeah.
started,
Come on, yeah, yeah.
But as soon as I did that, people were asking like, "Wow, man, like how long, you want to fast?" I thought about it. I was like, "Oh, wow, they think I want them to fast as long as I fast or something." But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just, I just wanted to get started. I just had to tell them. I said, "Dang, I should have said something a little different about this." Was basically I just wanted to get started. However long you stay on it is whatever.
It's up to you.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but yeah, man, and I've upped my lemon intake. I had been doing about 4 or 5 lemons, man, for the last couple of years every day. And today, man, I did about 15 lemons, man. And oh man,
Wow.
woo!
How long can you hold that in for?
I stood on my head actually for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
And I guess I held it in for maybe about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you
Okay.
know. And uh I didn't have your podcast on today. Because I knew
Yeah, yeah.
I was coming on today. So I was listening to, I was trying to get hyped up. I was listening to some John Coltrane. So,
There you go.
you know. And so yeah, man. I mean, yeah, waste, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I've done very long fasts, and waste still comes out
Really?
after 8 months, after 10 months, man. Waste. I mean, you're talking about the intestines, which is swiveled, and and so
Yeah.
to get all that stuff out, man, is it might take 3 or 4 lifetimes, man, because you inherit what your mother and your father, you inherit all that mucus and pus,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
even all the way into the tissue system.
Oh yeah, it's buried deep into the cells. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's so it's really about being consistent, man. I just try to be consistent. I started this fast today, and I hope I can keep it going for a while, and
Yeah. See, that's what keeps me excited. Talking about your past and what you inherit and stuff. So it'd be awesome to see 5 generations down, like your great grandchildren. If your son keeps up with it and he has a kid and he has a kid, it'd be amazing to see what that future generation is going to look like and what they can achieve, what's possible. That then we could break paradigms and yeah, that keeps me
yeah,
excited. Yeah.
yeah. I think that's a part of why you want to do this. Is it's as simple as this: somebody has to start the process.
Yeah, you said last time you might be the first vegan in your family lineage in 500 1,000 years.
Could be,
Could
yeah,
be.
yeah. So,
Very likely.
so yeah, so the deaf culture, and what we call this is a life culture. We're starting a life culture. We're trying to be a part of a life culture that exists already. It's just not plugging in with us filthy people. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's some folks out there that's plugged into something heavy,
Oh
but
yeah.
they're not coming around us.
Yeah. 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 You said that too last time that we talked, that you want to get your blood clean enough that these masters will present themselves to you once you've gotten to a certain
Yes.
level. They'll be like, I see you, brother Air. I see what you're doing.
Yeah,
Come with
yeah,
us to the
yeah. I think it.
mountaintop. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it will be revealed. I think they will reveal themselves. I think it's about cleanliness, and that's why I think that goes hand in hand with all these deities, because they always talk about cleanliness and godliness. So using understanding cleanliness physiologically, which most people who deal with the deities and the religion, they don't understand physiological hookups like that.
Right.
They just stay in the book and try to, they try to deal with the book.
Yeah.
You did. So I think that the hookup is aligning yourself with nature. Because think about it, if nature never dies.
Nope.
So if you're a part of nature and you're not a separate entity, right? You're a part of nature. That's what we're always claiming. We're a part of nature. I mean,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're a part of nature. So if you're a part of nature, nature never dies.
Yeah.
Hey, this battery is getting ready to run out, and I don't have a charger, man.
No? Okay. Well, we're going about an hour
Yeah.
anyway, so.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much, so if you're part of nature, man, then why should death be a part of your life?
Right.
Immortality is real. I truly believe that somebody's gonna get over the hump.
Yeah, you said that.
But
Yeah.
realistically, I'm just trying to get to 100. Just I mean, just even if it's not me, if it's Spiro, if it's my son, if we can just get 100 as the average, then we'll
Right.
be doing
Right.
better.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Then we'll be doing better, man. So I mean, that's that's how we take the small steps,
Yeah.
and you wait it out. But immortality is what this thing is all about. People don't like to think about it or talk about it because they can't explain it. But I just think that it's better to not think about dying than it is to think about dying.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I don't have time to think about dying. I'm
Yeah.
always I'm always thinking about living. Yeah, people, well, you can't live forever. Why not?
Yeah.